Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ahlan wa sahlan. Marhaban. Welcome, guys. My name is Zakat Zaman, and this is a live stream. Hope you guys have a day. I think the light's a bit bright on here. Let me just dim it a bit. Okay, that's better. So, ahlan wa sahlan, guys. Welcome. Let me just go on to Insta. Oof. Okay, let me just change this. Post questions. Okay, that's done. All right, let's start. Okay, so right, let's check out how you guys have been. Ahlan wa sahlan. Again, welcome. Welcome to the live stream Q&A. You guys can ask your questions, inshallah, over here. Wa alaikum assalam, Qazi. What are the values of descendants of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam family in this era? How we should take them? We should value them. We should respect them, honor them, of course. Assalamu alaikum, ya ghali. Ahlan wa sahlan, akhi al-habib al-kareem. Fresh Prince of من باكستان يعني ابن الأمير الطازج من باكستان. أهلا وسهلا مرحبا. What are the values of descendants? But I've seen a lot of videos that what are the values? I don't understand. So yeah, we have to respect the lineage of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Obviously, if they break the laws, if they do things wrong, then clearly if they commit open sins, then they've dishonored themselves. Wa alaikum assalam, Umair Muhammad. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan. I'm very well. Thank you very much. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. Welcome to this video, guys. So I got lemon tea today. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. So yeah, so today is Saturday, and usually on Saturdays, I try to answer your question. You guys want to ask questions on here? I mean, people on Twitter will not be able to ask questions for some reason. That feature is no longer active. It's no longer working for some reason. I'm not sure why. But you can ask questions on YouTube. You can ask questions on Instagram, inshallah. And also, if you don't want your name or anything, then you can ask questions on Curious Cat. So at the bottom there, you can see Curious Cat live. You can ask questions there, inshallah ta'ala. Right. So best application for okay. Wa alaikum assalam, Sayyid Umar. Ahlan wa sahlan. Okay, let's check out Boxing MMA. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. Should we take bayat from them? Why do you want to take bayat from them? What's the reason for bayat? Bayat is a reason, like bayat basically means allegiance. You pledge allegiance to someone. You say to someone that you will be like, I don't know, you will go to war, yeah, or you will do something else, or I don't know, do tawbah or accept Islam. That's what bayat means. Yeah, so bayat it's not like some magical thing that you touch someone's hand and magically you just become a pious person. Doesn't work like that. Light of our hearts, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan, light our hearts, ahlan wa sahlan. Which mashable? I'm not too sure what that means. Right, let's check out Curious Cat. Let's see what Curious Cat is saying. Okay, Curious Cat. Check out what you guys are saying there. All right, so Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I recently had a dream that I was breastfeeding a newborn baby girl. Then once she finished feeding, I put her to my chest and put her to sleep. What would the interpretation be? So I don't know, unfortunately. Salam. I'm not too sure. Apologies. So when it comes to interpretation of dreams is not something which is like ubiquitous. It doesn't work as one rule for everyone. In fact, each person can have a dream that is unique to them. The situation, who are they? Is it a male? Is it a female? Are they young? Are they old? Have they been practicing for a very long time? Have they been going through problems in life recently? And so forth. So dreams are not something that if 10 people see the same dream, it doesn't mean it's going to apply the same in all of them. It could be different for different people. Is it allowed to give one child their share of property and not other children before one passes away? That will not be considered as inheritance, rather it will be a gift. They will still be eligible, or they will still be deserving of inheritance shares after they die. Yeah, so basically what that means is that if a person decides they want to give their inheritance to their children before they pass away, that will not be counted as inheritance. Okay, that's not counted inheritance. What that will be counted as is just a gift, and then even when that person dies, that person will receive the full. And it happens sometimes in families where, let's say, there's a father and he's got 5 sons, and what he does is one of the sons, he wants to give him his share before he dies, and then thinking that when I die, the other sons will distribute the wealth, and this one son who I've given wealth to doesn't get any. Doesn't work like that. If you give your son before death something, after he dies, the 5 will still inherit whatever's left. So the son got the gift, plus he inherits. Right, so next. Sidi Nash, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan. Can Sunnah prayers be prayed at any time within the Fard prayer time? Yes, technically they can. However, they should be prayed with the Fard. Yeah, they should be prayed as quick as possible with the Fard. Okay, so we've got a question over here on Insta. What would be your tips for someone who's just starting to be interested in Islam? So my advice would be anyone who's interested in, let's say you're interested in anything you want. Someone is interested in gardening, and someone is interested in riding a bike, or someone's interested. The rule for beginners is always take it easy. Don't rush into things. Learn it bit by bit. Yeah, learn it bit by bit, because if you rush into things, you get yourself burnt out. So if you start practicing now, alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah. First of all, start off with the basics, the very, very basic. Don't be shy. Don't think to yourself, look at my age. What are people going to think? No. So you start off with the basics. Learn Islam. Learn about what Islam is about. And one of the best places to actually learn would be IERA. IERA. So if you type in IERA in Google, they've got a website. You go there. They've got loads of resources for people who have become Muslim or started practicing. So I'd say start from there, inshallah. Start the basics and don't rush into it, inshallah. Minhaj wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is wearing multiple rings halal for men? So technically, according to the Hanafis, men are not allowed to wear things that are primary jewelry. So primary jewelry is like necklace, bracelets, all these kind of things. So this is considered to be resemblance of women. Anything which is resembling women, men have to stay away from. Now, the ring has been permitted only for the judge and for the mufti, but later Hanafis actually allowed a man to wear a ring. Multiple rings, I think a person should avoid. Now, I know someone can argue, but nowadays there are certain types of jewelry which are unique for men. Women don't wear those kind of jewelry, and there are some scholars who allow this kind of thing. But I mean, if you're asking me from a Hanafi point of view, then it would not be allowed. Kam, ahla wa sahlan, Kam, when a person is traveling and is only reading qasr namaz. Yeah. Is that the question? I think there's some part of the question left. Wa alaikum assalam. What does delaying salah mean? In what sense delaying salah? Like, what do you mean delaying salah? So if you can give me some context of what you mean by delaying salah, then I can explain to you. Haydar Ali, alaikum salam. My parents have bad knees, so when they sit on the floor for salah, the weight causes issues, so they pray on a chair. Is that okay? They can walk and drive. Yeah, they can do that. Yeah, so if a person has difficulty in going down for ruku or sujood, then they are allowed to sit down on the floor and pray, or they can even sit on a like a platform, like a chair. Yeah, so they sit on a chair and they pray like this. Is delaying salah sinful, i.e., till the end of the time? If it's done deliberately, there is like a threat of sin involved in there. Yes. So if a person delays their salat deliberately, if it's not deliberately, if it's something because it's out of their control, they're on the motorway, it's difficult to stop, or there's a valid reason, then it's okay. But if there's no valid reason, they're just delaying it for no reason, then there is fear of sin involved. Yes. Yeah. And it's something in the Quran as well that Allah says, you know, الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ, those who are neglectful of their salat. And one interpretation of that is delaying of the salat. Yeah, like outside of its outside of its preferred time. Kam alaikum assalam. When a person is traveling and is only reading qasr namaz, to my understanding, you read only 2 fard. I've seen and heard people read there's 2 sunnahs of the fajr as well. Okay, good question. So basically, when a person traveling, the 5 times salat, Zuhr, Asr, and Isha, which are normally 4, are going to be prayed as 2. Okay, that's the first thing. The rest stay the same. So Fajr stays the same, Maghrib stays the same. Okay, what about the Sunnahs? So regarding the Sunnahs, the scholars differ on this issue. Some scholars say they don't have to pray Sunnahs. Some scholars say they should try to pray Sunnahs. And so Imam Ibn Abidin, rahimahullah, who's a famous Hanafi scholar, he says his opinion is that they should pray if they are like if they are if they are basically in motion, if they are moving, they've stopped at a location, they're praying and they're going to carry on the journey, then they don't pray the sunnahs. But if they are firmly in a place, if they are located in a place, staying there for like in a hotel or a place or whatever, then it's recommended to pray the sunnahs, but it's not as recommended as in normal situations. As in, if a person didn't pray them, there won't be a sin involved. Except for Fajr. Fajr has been emphasized in the hadith so much that you should never leave your Fajr sunnahs. Zob, wa alaikum salam. I finish my salah and don't talk to anyone and immediately start another salah. Must I repeat ta'awud? So yeah, so in every salah, ta'awud is considered to be sunnah or mustahab to recite in each salat at least once. So what is considered delay not praying in congregation? So what is considered delay? I don't understand. So what is considered, what's your question? So what is considered delay not praying in congregation? So delay basically means like you're delaying the salat from the time the Prophet ﷺ used to pray it. So the Prophet ﷺ used to pray his salat at a certain time, and you're delaying it all the way to the last moment of that time. If you take it outside of the time, that's clearly sinful. But you're delaying it without an excuse, there is fear of a sin there. Is there anything that confirms reading the 2 sunnah with the fajr whilst traveling? Yes. So there's multiple narrations about this. So the Prophet ﷺ said that do not leave the 2 sunnahs of fajr even if horses trample over you. And this is like for emphasis. So not like really horses trampling over you. Hassan, alaykum assalam. Does wearing a thin white t-shirt affect covering the aura in salah in bright light? Yeah, then that's fine, because that's just something which is outside of your control. So as long as normally, if you look at someone, they're wearing clothing and you can see the shape of their body, but you can't really see the color of the skin underneath, then that is considered to be fine. But if there is, like let's say someone's wearing a white jubba thobe and the light's shining, and then you can make out the shape of their thighs or their, then that's out of their control days. Yeah, and obviously, if a person's looking and it's something which they can see certain parts, then they should turn their gaze away. If a person deliberately knows that I'm going to wear this clothing and I'm going to deliberately make it as though that people can see my aura, then that is not allowed, because his intention was for people to see that part of his body. Right. So how's everything else with you guys? Everything going well? Enjoying the end of summer? Yeah, so summer's coming to an end, guys. School's back for the children. IRA is a Salafi organization. They will teach that Allah is above the Arsh. Deobandis da'wah to non-Muslims needs. Okay, I don't know about that. I mean, I've got nothing wrong with IRA's teachings. If you think that IRA teaches Salafi organization teaching, that's your issue. That is. Okay, so right, next. Okay. Next Hassan. Okay, Haydar. If a person was on a plane and joined Maghrib and Isha according to the Maliki school of thought, but they were there for 14 days, uh, going against the Maliki position, does he read? No, it's fine. If I see someone doing something which is a sin, shall I tell them that they're doing wrong, even if I may offend them? So this is called Amr bin Ma'ruf Nahy Munkar. So the rule basically is that as long as it's not going to cause harm to you and it's not going to cause like a fitna in the community, then you should speak up against it. But there's ways to speak up, right? This is where a lot of the youngsters get it wrong. They think you have to speak up against falsehood in any shape and form. And that's not true. You have to use wisdom. Yeah, you got to speak against the falsehood. You got to speak against truth, of course, but you do it with wisdom, like the Quran says. Yeah, bil hikmati. Can a Hanafi take the Shafi position on combining prayers if travel is similar with Shafis who do not stop? Possibly, yeah. Yeah, that is possible. How long does a Lahiq stand in Qiyam during the Fatiha time if he doesn't read? So he just kind of estimates. He roughly estimates in his head how long he would take to stand. And he stands for that long. Is it fine to wipe the face after dua? Yes. Did the other revelations contain hijab for women? I don't know. Why has modesty been so lost in the Judeo-Christian? So in Judaism, it's still there. So I don't know if you, how much you know about Judaism, but Judaism is very strict on their segregation, and Christians, they just lost everything. All good Mufti, going to second year of uni, inshallah. Ahla wa sahlan, ahla wa sahlan. May Allah make it easy for you, brother. Can I stay silent for a time and said that? Yes. I know it's usually 4 before Dhuhr and 2 after. Can Hanafis pray 2 Sunnah before and 4 after Dhuhr? So the way the Prophet ﷺ has done it is generally 2 after Dhuhr. Yeah, this is 2 after Dhuhr. So those 2 after Dhuhr are specifically 2 after Dhuhr. As for before Dhuhr, how much did he pray? So there are narrations that say he used to regularly pray 4, and some narrations say 2. So that's why some of the Hanafis say, you should pray 4, but if you pray 2 before Dhuhr, then that's also allowed as well. But shouldn't be something which is something that should not be done regularly. But the 2 after Dhuhr, you should pray. Thank you for the response, but I wasn't able to find I-era. So I-E-R-A. Yeah. I-E-R-A. So the letter I-E-R-A. Kam, ahlan wa sahlan. It's always good to see you, bro. I always like meeting you, my brother. We should meet up sometime. Meet up. Let's go for some meal or something. Yeah. Irfan, alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan. Irfan Sahib, what are the tick boxes to call someone or to be called munafiq? So let me explain something about this concept of munafiq. Munafiq in Arabic basically means someone who is like shows you one face but really does something else. That's what it literally sort of refers to. In the early Islam, there were some people who were kafirs, who hated Islam, but they were undercover Muslims. Right? They hated Islam, like Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul hated Islam, but made themselves as though they were believers. So the Quran talks about this category of munafiq. Then the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned a second type of munafiq. So this is a lighter munafiq. That's the severe munafiq. This is the lighter one. The lighter one is basically the one who is someone who basically has traits of munafiq inside of them. Like the Prophet ﷺ says, when they get into an argument, they start shouting. When they, when they make a promise, they regularly break their promises. And if they're given a trust, they break their trusts. So they're not out of Islam because they still believe in Allah, like in the way it should, but they have traits of munafiq inside of them. This second type is something that unfortunately many of us have inside of us. May Allah, save us. Is stem cell donation permissible? So what exactly is the situation? Is it because someone, for example, like has a specific type of illness and they require some cells, and what kind of stem cells is it? The best thing to do would be to ask like someone who's a professional, like a doctor, someone who is into this field to ask exactly what stem cell donation actually refers to, and then come to me and ask me. Because sometimes what happens is I'm not familiar with what stem cell donation exactly is. And then you might think in your head that you know what it is, and then you might give me one interpretation of it, and then I give an answer according to that, and then people think that stem cell donation is allowed or it's not allowed. So, it has to be clarified. If a person accidentally stands up after tashahud in qa'da al-akhira, where they're supposed to finish salah, what should you do? So Imam Quduri have explained this. So Imam Quduri have explained there's a few scenarios of what happens over here. So basically, if they've done tashahud, they get up, they sit back down again and give salam. If they haven't done tashahud, then that person should sit back down before they do sujood. So to me, explain it here is going to be a bit difficult because I've got to kind of show diagrams. So in my Quduri, if you flip through the Quduri, you'll actually find. Did the ancient Arabs have a unified language to do poetry, or did they do it in their local dialect? Local dialect. In a lot of cases, local dialect. There was like Arabs used to understand each other, just like English and Scottish and Welsh and American and Nigerian. English is the same, really. So they understand each other. Was the Torah a strict revelation because Isa alayhi salam was sent for takhfif of Torah? That's what the ulama say. If I led salah as a musafir and after 2 rakats make taslim, if I led to some musafir and made taslim, how do I inform the muqim? So after you give salam, you just say to everyone, by the way, I'm a traveler, carry on your prayer. Do we make sajda when reading the ayahs if we don't have wudu? No, you do it later on when you do have wudu. So you remember how many you've read, and then you make it up later. If I'm musafir and the imam is muqim and I am late for salah and arrive at the 3rd rakat dhuhr, do I make up the full 4? Yes, you make up the full 4. Does the father need to give his inheritance during his life according to the Sharia, i.e., in the same way as though it was being distributed on death? So he can't give his inheritance before death. It's not called inheritance. Inheritance can only happen after death. Before death is called a gift, and a father can gift a gift in whatever way he wants. Mufti, are we allowed to build tombs over graves like at the grave of Imam Shafi? No. According to majority of scholars, Hanafis, no, you can't build tombs on there. It's not permitted. There's prohibition for this. Now, some Hanafis, a few Hanafis have said there is permissibility to build on like someone who was an imam or someone who's very well known, as long as it's not in a public graveyard. But majority of the Hanafis do not permit it. Imam Ibn Abidin also has talked extensively about this as well. Arman Hussein, wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. If someone was offered a night porter job, cleaning and maintenance job at a bar, is it permissible to the job? Yeah, as long as just cleaning, that would be fine. Jundullah, alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, my brother Jundullah. Boxing MMA fan, if we keep doing istikhara and everything is great for many months and then you come across one issue, shall we use it as a sign to reject that person? So I don't know what kind of style of istikhara you're talking about, but istikhara is basically this. Istikhara is this. If you're going to marry someone, you look at everything. Once you're happy, all the boxes are ticked, do istikhara and go for it. That's it. That's all you do. You don't wait for anything. You just go for it. Assalamu alaikum. Ahla wa sahlan. Muhammad. Ahla wa sahlan. How's the car? What's the latest with the car? Is the Hajj system going back to normal next year, or do we have to? I have no idea. I don't have MBS's Muhammad bin Salman's phone number, so I can ask him. So I don't know. Anyone know what's going to happen next year with Hajj? I'm thinking of buying an iPad, but instead of getting it outright, I was thinking to use credit with a card with 0% interest. Have you ever used credit card? Yes, I've actually got credit card, but I haven't used it to buy something with 0% interest. It's quite confusing as how I'm going to pay. So I think if it's what I'm thinking is basically what happens is the credit card company might have a specific package or a product where you can buy something and then you pay them off slowly. So they'll buy it for you, and then slowly over, like, I don't know, whatever number of months, you've got to make up the payments. Yeah, so that's how I think it works. Like installments, you pay someone back. It's like someone buying something for you, and then instead of you giving them the full cash, you say, can I pay you back installments? If a father only has daughters, does all his money go to his daughters when he dies? I heard that it goes to his nephews, etc. Can he gift all his? No, it doesn't go to his nephews and all that. Yeah, it only go to the daughters. Then, if he's only got daughters, only goes to them. Like the hadith, deliberation is from Allah and haste is from shaitan. Deliberate, yeah. So al-anatu min Allahi wal ajalatu min shaitan. Definitely. Yeah. So I don't know. Are you linking up this up with the credit? I don't understand. But obviously it's a hadith. Dua in sajda is best, but I heard it can only be done in Arabic. I use supplications from the Quran. Is it okay? Alter the verses as in pronounce. Yes, you can do that. Yeah. So ideally, according to Hanafis, in Fard Salat, you should do it in Arabic. And Nafal Salat, there is room, there's leeway to do it in your own language. So long as you only ask Allah for things that you can only get from Allah. Yeah. So you don't say in your sajda, oh Allah, I hope, Ya Allah, please let Zayd give me a lift tomorrow in his car. Yeah. So you don't ask for those kind of things because the Hanafis say the Prophet ﷺ prohibited any human communication, any human sort of speech in Salat. It has to be like divine speech, speech that you only have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what they say. Okay, so right, let's check out some more. Ya Rabb, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. Zob, must we bring children inside from outdoors during the short period before Maghrib time, and must we close? No, you don't have to. So the hadith with regards to Maghrib, many of the scholars say this was related to the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, this was something specific, that something was happening at that time. This was not necessarily a ruling for everyone to the Day of Judgment. And that's why it's very important when people learn hadith, understand which hadith were, like we can say, time bound, that were for those people at that time, because something was going on at that time. And the Prophet ﷺ said something, and which hadith are meant to be for entirety. And this is why following a madhab is the best thing to do, because it sort of sorts all that out for us. If a person has killed himself because if he knew he would be tortured severely, would there be an udhr for him? The scholars say no. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we can't say if Allah is gonna forgive that person. Maybe Allah will forgive that person because of the situation, but it's not allowed for a person in the court system, like in the worldly court system, for a person to do that. Yeah, to kill themselves like that. But obviously, Allah is Kareem on the day of Qiyamah. We can't bind Allah to anything. Salam, ahlan wa sahlan, Blueberry. Where's Rona Hakim? Unless one of you guys has changed his name from Rona Hakim to something else. Wonder where he is. Hope he's okay. Blueberry 28, Salam Mufti. Is it better for us to make du'as in Arabic or in our own language? When you're making normal du'as, I would say in your own language. The best way, because you can be more informal with Allah. Yeah, so you know what you're saying. It comes from your heart. But when you're reading a du'a, it's like you don't understand what the du'a means and you're just asking. I just realized I was watching you from 30 minutes ago. Just for the hadith reference was from when someone asked how to begin Islam for beginners, and you said, "Oh, yeah." So you were proper anat there. You were like 20 minutes ago anat, deliberation. Hey, wa alaikum assalam. Is it permissible for a hafiz to look in the Quran in salat? So I've actually made a whole video on this. I made a whole video. You can check out. I'll post it up here so you guys you can watch it later, inshallah. Yeah. There you go. Arabi Muslim wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan. Marhaban, marhaban. Welcome. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I also got these treats which I'll be eating, and I've got some books today which I'll be showing you guys and telling you a bit about those books. Yeah, so mashallah, I've been gifted some books, and hopefully, inshallah, you guys will see those nice books that have come to me from Karachi. Inshallah, I wanted to go to Karachi, but alhamdulillah, I couldn't go, but books came to me. الحمد لله الحمد لله ربي مستعان بخير وكيف أنت؟ لال عنات يتيم في الهندية أوه أردي أنات 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 يتيم فعل هندية أو أردية أو مثلا يتيم في الهندية أو أردية أنات أو نعم 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 Is there an English translation of Al-Shifa al-Qadi Iyad that you recommend? I'm not too sure, you know. I don't know if Sheikh Abdul Aziz Suraqa has done a translation of it, because I think Sheikh Abdul Aziz Suraqa has done some translations. I'm not sure if he's done Qadi Iyad. There is a translation out there. I know definitely there is, but I'm not too. I haven't seen any that I can recommend. أدام الله محمدك الحمد لله بخير بورك الحمد لله شكرا وإياكم. Can you explain why small vomit doesn't break wudu when it is still existing from an impure thing from inside the body outside? So this is a good question. So I've actually explained this in my lessons on Kuduri. You can check it there. So basically the Hanafis say wudu breaks when impurity exits the body. So impurity exiting, the concept of exiting differs from part to part. So from the private parts, exiting simply means to appear at the tip of the organ. And a cut, exiting means to not just appear at the wound, but also to move from the wound on its own. And in vomit, it has to be a mouthful. So Ali radiallahu anhu was asked about what breaks your wudu, and one of the things he said was, "Oh, das'atan tamla'ul fam," or a large amount that fills the mouth. So the filling of the mouth is considered to be exiting. That's the concept of exiting. So it's not just a small amount. Small amount coming out doesn't qualify for exiting, according to the Hanafis. And there's narrations where the Prophet ﷺ vomited and didn't do wudu as well. So it's interpreted as al-qalas, they say. It was a small amount of vomit. Blueberry 28, ahla wa sahla. Which flavor tea are you drinking today? Today I am drinking, my brother, I am drinking lemon, peel, and ginger root. Lemon, peel, and ginger root tea today. So alhamdulillah to the lemon, peel, and ginger roots. It says one. What's your favorite tree? Blueberry. Don't say blueberry. Says one place in the Quran, alayhullah. Yeah, with a dhamma. Was there a linguistic reason for this? So this is basically to do with qira'at as well. So qira'at. So this is, I think, is in Surah Fath. I think this is in Surah Fath. Yeah. Bima ahada alayhullah. So these like pronunciations in Arabic language, there are varying ways things can be pronounced, and there's a whole science behind like the way words are pronounced in the Quran as well, based on the different qira'at. So some of the mufassirin, they say, so normally we would say in a normal Arabic Quraysh dialect, we would say alayhillah, but some dialects would actually pronounce it alayhu. Sometimes the mufassirin say that this indication is towards the severity, the importance of what Allah is talking about, the changing of the pronunciation of certain, what we call damirs, pronouns. Yeah, so it could be a dialect. So that's one answer that some mufassirin give, is actually a reference to a particular dialect. My car wrecked, sent photos to the mechanic guy, and he'll get back to me as to whether they'll write it off. I see. Chalo, qaddar Allah. Qaddar Allah. Arman, what is the ruling when a Hafiz in Taraweeh gets stuck and says, so it wouldn't be considered, I would say it wouldn't be considered breaking the Salat, because is not really considered to be something that has a specific, like a meaning. It's just a sound that people make. So long as he doesn't say it for too long, then it wouldn't break the Salat. Will you continue with the Learn to Read the Quran series, please? Do I really benefit from it? Inshallah, my brother Muhammad Naeem, I will continue, inshallah, hopefully this week. I will be continuing. In regards to creams and lotions with a long list of ingredients, is their default assumption them being pure? I've spoken to some people and they've said yes. As long as there's nothing explicit that says porcine or pork or anything that is clearly haram, then it would be permissible. Question: the person who whacked me ran off, so I can't get in touch with other parties' insurance. So if I get something from for injury from own insurance. Is this permissible, or do I have to give it away? Yeah, you'll have to give it away, because I mean, unless depends what the terms and conditions are. Did you lie to them? Was it like, because they usually in injuries they actually ask you. So it actually happened to me, and I basically they contacted me, and then they said, did you get injuries? And I said no, but the doctor who was interviewing me said, look, say you got injuries, and I said no, look, I can't lie, but they still gave me money, and I gave the money away to charity. I think it's about £400 they gave me, so I gave it to charity. So if you basically have misled them, then that money should be given away. It's not mal tayyib. Like the sound of that peach and apricot tea you mentioned the other day, Sheikh. Might have to try and get some myself, inshallah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, apricots and peaches is very nice. ما رأيك في برامج الدبلجة أو تقليد أصوات الرسوم المتحركة للأطفال بالعربية؟ يعني أنا لم أشاهد هذه البرامج، لكن إذا كانت يعني ليست فيه فحش أو شيء يعني يخالف الأحكام الشرعية فلا بأس بها. نعم. It's certainly not blueberry, brother. My favorite tea is Moroccan mint tea. Moroccan mint tea, you should try. Yeah, I've got some Moroccan mint tea. Yeah, Moroccan mint. The only thing is, look, I've heard this mint tea reduces testosterone in men. Yeah, and if you're a man and you don't want your testosterone to go down, then I don't know, should you drink a lot of mint tea or not? So you guys tell me. You guys tell me how that works. I don't know. I've just heard people say that. In Nasb al-Raya, the hadith from Ali is graded as da'if with 2 da'if rawi, while he graded a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ sahih that only says vomit without any amount. How is he reconciled? So basically, so a hadith, like this concept of a hadith being da'if, this is based upon the rules that are from the muhaddithin. And the muhaddithin's rules generally came later on after the Hanafi madhab was already established. So this is why, we would say they are clearly, athar from the Sahaba and from the Tabi'in that show that there were certain athar from them that haven't reached us, or they've reached us, but they were sahih at one time. And then as they were going down the chain, some weak narrator popped into the chain and has resulted in that chain being considered da'if. So this is one of the problems of post-grading of hadith. So Nasb al-Raya, Sahib Nasb al-Raya, Imam Zaylai comes in the 600s. And clearly, the ahkam of the fiqh of the Hanafis are already written and documented in, the 2nd century, the 100s. So this is one of the sort of like responses to that. I should try peach and apricot. Sounds very interesting. Definitely. I got back pain, but it's minor. How about that? Yeah, you can. I mean, as long as there is something which fulfills those terms and conditions, then it's yeah. I believe Zufar said that amount breaks wudu, but I have not seen anyone giving tarjih. Yeah, that's right. Well, I might introduce mint tea to my bin. I don't know. Check it out. I've just kind of read it up somewhere on some article, but just don't throw it away yet. If someone has a bank account that incurs interest and they intend to change the interest-free account, are they transactions made through this account also haram? No, not at all. Pak versus India again tomorrow. Oh, is it cricket? Yeah. I'm not too much into cricket. Some people really crazy about cricket. They're always kind of checking the scores and all that. So I'm not too. What's happening with Liverpool these days, guys? Yeah, Liverpool seem to be starting off in a very bad way. Don't know what kind of what Salah has done this year. Remember last time that Christmas thing. Don't know what he's done this year. I'm drinking Ovaltine currently. Oh yeah, Ovaltine. I haven't had that for ages. Yeah, it's a long time ago. Shay, I got to share something I found with you. Go for it, bro. Share it, bro. Share karo. Is it like a shi'r? We'll have to keep Liverpool in du'as. Yeah, what's happened to them? I don't understand. All of a sudden, has some major player change. I think one of the players has gone, hasn't he? Mane is gone. Has Mane gone? Someone's gone. Maybe it was all about Mane. That broken phone that he used to walk around with and cleaning mosque toilets. I know I should give salah to Muslims when I see them. Salam, you mean? But how can I know who is a Muslim and who isn't? So as long as you kind of see some sort of signs that they're Muslim, you give them salam. Yeah, even if you're wrong. How to advise Muslims to stop their nationalistic beliefs? Good question. I don't know. We're feeling the loss of Mane after he went to Germany. 20 goals a season already lost. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I think it was all that kind of like, 'cause I remember I used to have I got a Chelsea friend, yeah. And I always say to him, look, mashallah, Mane, yeah, the guy cleans toilets in mosques and the guy walks around with a broken phone, proper humble guy. And he's like, no, he's like, yeah, just because you clean a mosque toilet doesn't make you a good person. He could be doing it for show. He could be doing it for show. Yeah, well, I don't know what's in his heart. Anyway, I'm gonna go off Instagram now. So Instagram guys, ahlan wa sahlan. If you guys want to come on, then you can pop onto the YouTube. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, Instagram guys are all done. Yeah, so okay, let me show you guys the books that I got. Okay, actually, first of all, let me have some of these. Yeah, some grasshoppers. For those of you guys who don't like me eating grasshoppers in front of you, yeah, I will eat some grasshoppers for you guys. Nafisa, any updates on Hidayah? Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to do it once a week. So I haven't really like firmly decided what day, but I'm gonna let you know, inshallah. Hopefully by tomorrow evening, I'll let the Hidayah class know. Guys, anyone want any? Yeah, please, tafaddalu. Come have some. روي عن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه أن الله تبارك وتعالى بعث حبيبي جبريل عليه الصلاة والسلام إلى إبراهيم عليه السلام فقال له يا إبراهيم إني لم أتخذك خليلا على أنك أعبد عبادي لي. لم أتخذك خليلا. Or is it still some left? I think you missed some out. What's the difference between tahari for qibla and tahari for clothes? First one requires one to change direction, and for tahari changes. While for the second one, it is not permissible to change. Okay, sounds interesting. Shaykh, what was the response Rasulullah gave to the non-Muslims who gave him salam wa alaikum? He would just say to them wa alaikum. And it was specifically those individual Jews who used to try and undermine the Prophet by saying to him assalamu alaikum. Well, grasshoppers, mashallah, it's a sunnah food, Shaykh. I mean, it's not like rewarding to eat this in the sense sunnah is a reward, but it's nice. Okay. If a madrasa collects donations to pay qarz hasana, is it permissible for the madrasa to spend the donation money to buy smart books, boards, cameras, tech equipment? If a madrasa collects donations to pay off qarz hasana, I mean, all depends. I mean, generally, if people are giving money to a madrasa, then generally the madrasa is the one who's like the mutawalli, the people in charge who are collecting the money. So generally they can spend it on anything really, because it's not really kind of going towards a specific individual. They can spend it anything to do with the madrasa itself. So I wouldn't see a problem. But if they have promised the people that they're paying off the qarz hasana with this explicitly, then I would say no in that case. But if it's just generally paying off qarz hasana, yeah, then possibly if there's a need for it. But if they're told to promise the people that it's going to go towards qarz hasana, to paying off the building, then no. Salam. Could you explain what is the minimum country it has to do to be considered a Muslim land? Population of people. Yeah. So this is the question: who decides a country is Muslim or not? That's a big question. Like, is there ayah of the Quran? Is there a hadith that says a country to be Muslim has to have these criteria? Not really. As long as the ruler of the country is identified to be a Muslim, and as long as they are upholding some sense of being Muslim, then it's fine. Yeah, this will be considered to be a Muslim land. Now, this idea of Dar al-Harb, Dar al-Islam, this was a thing in the past that was based upon the splitting of the globe into two parts. Those countries that enforce the penal code, that was considered to be a Dar al-Islam. And then you had those countries that did not enforce the penal code, which is the non-Muslim lands. And then over time, the whole concept of country changed. It's changed dramatically from what it was before. There weren't borders before. There wasn't citizenship before. And the way that you travel from one part of the world to the different part of the world is different. The way that laws are implemented. So if a country decides, like Umar radiallahu anhu, at one point he decided to suspend some of the penal code. Yeah. So, but the Khilafah was still called Muslim. Yeah. So this is why many of the scholars, I remember Mufti Nizamuddin Shamzai's opinion was, he was a famous Mufti in Pakistan, that Pakistan is a Muslim country. And that's what it was built. The idea originally was that it was built to be a Muslim country. So to be a Muslim country, do you have to have all the laws from A to Z apply? Yeah. So according to majority, no, you don't need to. Okay, rate those grasshoppers out of 10. And are they spicy ones? No, these are non-spicy ones. They're very nice. I love grasshoppers. There's one. Excellent. One second, let me just open this window a bit. إن الله بعث جبريل إلى إبراهيم فقال له يا إبراهيم إني لم أتخذ خليلا على أنك أعبد عبادي ولكن اطلعت في قلوب المؤمنين فلم أجد قلبا I think there's something missing there. Okay, so I know many Muslims would probably consider it a mercy that grasshoppers were not legislated for us to eat, and they're probably scared of them. Didn't know we could consume them. Thought people fed them to certain pets. Yeah, you can feed them to pets as well. We can feed roti to pets as well. You can feed rice to pets as well. سؤال: هل بين الحبيب والخليل فرق؟ ذكر النسابوري أن الخليل الذي امتحنه ثم أحبه والحبيب الذي أحبه ابتداء تفضلا. جيد. والخليل الذي جعل ما يملكه فداء خليل والحبيب جعله الله مملكته فداءه والخليل من اختاره الله على كل شيء والحبيب من اختاره الله على كل شيء. جميل. فلم أجد قلبا أسخى من قلبك. ما شاء الله، جميل. أين وجدت هذه المقولة؟ ماذا تفضل من الطعام؟ أفضل البرياني. قصدت برأيك عن الرسوم المتحركة أي أفلام الكرتون، أم هل تحب أن تشارك فيها أم لا؟ أكيد إن كانت هل تحب أن تشارك فيها أم لا؟ أكيد إن كانت محترمة. نعم، ممكن أنا يعني لو كان لي فرصة أن أشارك وعندي وقت ممكن أشارك فيها، ليس في حرج. نعم، الآن يوجد بعض البرامج أو تطبيقات تستطيع أن يعني تصنع بنفسك هذه الرسوم المتحركة. وأنا أيضا حاولت هذا. أنا عندي في قائمة الفيديوهات عندي فيديو صنعته منذ سنوات عن سؤال هل الأرض مسطح أم كروي؟ صنعت هذا الفيديو بهذا الأسلوب. What do you teach in As-Sufa Institute? So I teach Quranic Arabic. I teach تحفة الطلاب. It's a small thick book. I teach Quduri. I teach Usul Hadith. I teach and then I teach Hidayah. I teach Balagha. I teach Tirmidhi. I teach Usul Fiqh. I teach Nur Anwar. I teach نخبة الفكر. I teach فقه الميسر. Yeah, those are the books. الحمد لله. ما شاء الله نحن الآن نتحدث باللغة العربية. نعم إن شاء الله. If after Salah one find out that his clothes had impurity in it, with which Salah is not valid, should he redo the Salah? So there's an ikhtilaf in this masala between Imam, what's reported from Abu Hanifa rahimahullah. So there's a student, Imam Muhammad called Al-Mu'alla. He reports this ikhtilaf between Abu Hanifa and Sahibain based on the masala of a well masala. Or if you find an animal dead in a well, a rat, and you don't know how long it's been there for, what should a person do? So in this masala, Sahib al-Hidayah mentioned this as well. And there's ikhtilaf in basically, should a person redo the salats if they find that there was a, let's say, najas on their clothes or not? So some do the qiyas. So the Sahibain do qiyas of that onto the well masala. And some say no, that Abu Hanifa didn't agree upon this. Abu Hanifa said that the qiyas is wrong between the two. كتب ممكن أن أقرأه كتب للأطفال وأين أجد حوارق فيك؟ نعم عندي قائمة في جوجل درايف. ممكن يعني أخذ منها. أين هي books children was Arabic YouTube books. لا ليس هذه. Arabic stories. نعم وهذه عندي هذه، وأيضا عندي أين الكتب؟ دقيقة Arabic reading books. نعم هذه Arabic reading books. كيف أقول هذا؟ دقيقة نعم get link. share copy link done. طيب هذه Arabic reading books. نعم وفيها أيضا موقع اسمه الهنداوي، موقع الهنداوي، وفيه كتب كثيرة جدا للأطفال والكبار أيضا بالعربية. ستفقده إن شاء الله المقطع الذي صنعت من رسوم متحرك. نعم تفضلي. ورد في الترغيب والترهيب وكنز العمال ولكم ظننته حديث ضعيف. نعم أعتقد أنه هكذا ألفاظه أيضا هكذا سمعت مثل هذا أيضا، وسمعت أنه في ألفاظ ركيكة فيما يدل على ضعفه. Is there valid اختلاف regarding the principle of music? See, this is a very big topic. This is, but in generally, I would say it's best to avoid music. Generally, but there is like an ikhtilaf in certain areas. So when people say, "Is there an ikhtilaf in music?" they're talking about this whole massive industry of music, which includes any sort of sound, any sort of musical sound, bird chirping, or just like a ringtone you have, or a ring bell, or a horn in your car, to all the way like a rapper singing. So that's what I'm saying to you. It's more nuanced than that. But clearly, the famous rap songs and all these songs that have a lot of fuhsh in there and kalam, no, those are totally not allowed. What are your thoughts on online alamiya, and would you encourage it? I would not encourage it, simply because I've seen a lot of people trying to do it and it burns them out, and they don't really get the same benefit as sitting in front of the teacher. I mean, if there's no other option, then clearly you can do it, but I wouldn't encourage it. I forgot to make an important distinction. He knew that the cloth was impure, but he forgot about it. And then after Salat, I remembered it. Okay. كل كتب الأطفال مترجمة العربية عن الأساطير الإنجليزية وغيرها. نعم. وفي تلك يعني وفي ذلك الموقع في كتب أيضا يعني أصلها مكتوب كتبه يعني كاتب عربي. نعم. الهنداوي اسمه هنداوي. If you realize during giving da'wah the other person is not listening and is narcissist, do you continue? Prove your point. You can walk away. Yeah. مثل الأمير والوحش. جزاك الله خير. What surahs have you memorized? Oh, mashallah. MashaAllah. Ahlan wa sahlan. Aspiring cog. Ahlan wa sahlan. May Allah bless you and your family. Barak in your time and your effort and your wealth. Jazakallah khair for your kind donation. Really means a lot to my channel. And because of that, I will have some grasshoppers. Yeah, these grasshoppers, lovely grasshoppers here for you guys. Anyone see any grasshoppers? تفضلوا. What surahs have you memorized? I've memorized about 3 or 4 juz of the Quran. Especially usually the Tayammum section in fiqh books when a person forgets water in his car or so. Yeah, and in the well masla as well. Could you bless us with some qira'at, Sheikh? My qira'at's not very good. I'm not a very good qari. قال الشاعر ومهفهف كالغصن قلت له انتسب فأجاب ما قتل المحب على المحب حرام فجاب في كلامها من أين هي لأنها أجابت بلسان بني تميم. نعم. Yeah, so because he says, he's supposed to say ما قتل المحب على المحب حراما, خبر of ما حجازية, but they responded with ما تميمية, حرام مرفوع. Was all of your studies abroad? Yes, all of my studies were abroad in Pakistan. Did you study in the UK as well? No, I didn't. صحة وعافية. شكرا. Could you give us some nahu riddles to figure? I don't know what kind of nahu riddles. Okay, let me tell you one. أباحني فتى الشافعي. أباحني فتى الشافعي. أباحني فتى الشافعي. أباحني فتى الشافعي. Okay, could you give us some nahu, Mufti? What is your favorite tafsir of the Quran and Ruh al-Ma'ani? Why doesn't sleeping in sajda break wudu when irkha is the reason of break? Rizwan, you looks like you're trying to test my. I've explained this in Hidayah. This is a very long discussion. There's about 13 scenarios that Sheikh Abdul Hayy Laknawi in Si'aya mentions about this whole concept of breaking of the wudu and different postures. Hidayah only mentions the normal few masalas, the one that Quduri mentions, that mustalqiyan, مضطجعا أو مستندا أو متكئا على شيء لو أزيل سقط عنه. There's three there, and then they mention the salat ones. But other scholars have mentioned many. This is a very big topic, Rizwan. I don't know if you're testing me or if you're just trying to kind of see what I know. I don't know too much, bro, Rizwan. Ustad, would you say memorizing mutun poems is still a very important thing for a student or covering a larger quantity of text? Definitely, memorizing mutun is very, very important. In fact, I'm going to mention to you a maqala that was written by an Arab scholar regarding his visit to India and seeing the madaris there and seeing the madaris in Mauritania. Yeah, and one of the drawbacks in Indian subcontinent method is they don't emphasize memorization in Alimiya. Drink water for those grasshoppers, brother. Oh no, you're getting stuck in my throat. أباحني فتى الشافعي. ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. أصبتي. ممتاز. Have you been on Hajj multiple times? Just once. I just done it the number of times the Prophet ﷺ done it. Just once. حلها أباحني فتى الشافعي. Now أصل الجملة أباحني فتى الشافعي الشطرنج. أباحني فتى الشافعي الشطرنج. The 1 minute Arabic clips are much appreciated, by the way, Sheikh. Oh yeah, I've got to continue those, haven't I? Shukran. Jazallah. I'll try to continue making those. اقرأ بعض الشعر من فضلك. أنا لست بشاعر. لكن إنما الدنيا فناء ليس للدنيا ثبوت إنما الدنيا كبحر يحتوي سمك وحوت. That was like a famous nasheed in the old days. Do the grasshoppers taste nice? Lovely. I love grasshoppers. Not for testing. It's because I could not figure out, and my teacher doesn't get much time. Okay. In that case, if you are, because you asked multiple different types of questions, so I thought maybe you're testing me in different. So basically, the issue is this. Look, the Hanafis have split when it comes to the postures of Salat. Does the postures of Salat break? It's a very long discussion. I'm going to try to summarize as quick as possible. The Hanafis have differed with regards to if you go to sleep, heavy sleep in Salat, does it break your wudu or not? So one group of Hanafis, they say, yes, it does. It does break your wudu. Yeah, because heavy sleep is the illah. However, the istihsan, because it comes in the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, that she says that she asked the Prophet ﷺ and the Prophet said that, except for salat. So therefore, that's istihsan masala. And istihsan is restricted to istihsan. Another group of Hanafis, they say the postures of salat do not break your wudu because the illah is there. The illah is basically your limbs are taut, your muscles are strong, and therefore the sphincter, the rectal sphincter, that does not become loose, and therefore the possibility of something coming out is extremely low. So that's why they say that the idea of the person breaking their wudu is based upon the idea of the hadith where it says that al-aynu wika'u sah فإذا نامت العين انفتح. Yeah, so it's based upon the idea of the illah of the limbs being taut. So that's why they say in sajda. However, this is where, for example, like some of the later Hanafis have now discussed and said that what if this ruling was to do with the diet of the Sahaba? So the Sahaba used to have a specific diet, and their food was very basic, and therefore they wouldn't have gas problems. And then later on, people. So that's why Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi, for example, he's taken the position and said that in today's times, if you went to sleep in Salat, your wudu would break. Yeah, because the chances of wind coming out are very strong. Yeah, because of the diet. It's all to do with the diet. So that's one issue over there. And then there's also like the other issue is to do with what type of sajda is it? Is it a sajda which is according to the Sunnah method of sajda? Is it a non-Sunnah method sajda? So Sheikh Salah Abul Hajj, he has a footnote on a book on Maraqi al-Falah. In the Hashiyah, in that, he's actually mentioned 3 opinions over there. You can check it out. A very good explanation over there. But if you want the really good long discussion, then Si'aya, Mullah Abdul Hayy Laknawi has a full detail. I've tried to summarize it for you, my brother, as one, as easy as possible without boring other people. I hope that helps. طلب منك أن تحلها بضم الحاء. نعم. بضم الحاء. أين. كيف؟ يعني كيف بضم الحاء؟ أباحني الشافعي وأنا فتى. أباحني فتى. أباحني فتى يعني أباحني فعل فاعل ونون وقاية. الشافعي اسم فاعل. وأنا واو حالية، أنا مبتدأ، فتى خبر. فتن يعني ما فهمته. منك أن تحلها بضم الحاء. هنا بضم الحاء. حلها. حلها أبا. حلها ما فهمت. عفوا ما فهمت. أو يعني أمر. حلها. أيوة. حلها لا حلها. يعني صلبي حلها. نعم. أباحني الشافعي. أبحاني. نعم. أبحاني الشافعي. أبحى يبحي إبحاء، يعني أبحاني الشافعي وأنا فتى، يعني أهدى إلي الشافعي وأنا فتى وأنا في صغري، هكذا صحيح؟ Who's your favorite pre-Islamic Arabic poet? I think probably Imrul Qais or probably Imrul Qais. Yeah. Nahid. I'm going to be finishing in a bit, guys. I'm just going to show you the books. Wa alaikum assalam. What are the books that must be taught in an iftar course? I'm asking as I've seen many that teach a few books that others course don't. The must books that must be, so there is no must books that must be taught. It's training. More than anything, training is the most important thing. It's not important about books. You can become, I know people like muftis in the past that were experts and they didn't do like an iftar course. Like Mufti Nizamuddin Shamzai was like one of the leading muftis in Pakistan. Apparently he didn't do any iftar course. Okay. So I would say generally it's that. But if you want to, I mean, Qudras al-Mufti is the normal sort of thing to study. Ashbah al-Nadha'ir, Radd al-Muhtar, sections of it. Things like certain sections from Madkhal Fiqhi al-Am by Mustafa Ahmad Zarqa. That would be very good. Also studying sections from Al-Madkhal Mufassal by Dr. Salah al-Hajj. I mean, I think those would probably ما في مشكلة عربية. I would appreciate if you could answer the Tahari question. It has been bothering me for months. أباحني فتى الشافعي. أباحني الشافعي وأنا فتى، هل هذا صحيح؟ نعم. فهو أصله أباحني فتى الشافعي هو بدل. نعم. هو بدل فتى أو عطف بيان لفتى. أباحني فتى الشافعي. وممكن إذا قلت يعني أباحني الشافعي وأنا فتى، نعم هذا أيضا صحيح. نعم، لأن واو حالية والذو الحال يعني يرجع إلى أنا. نعم. أستاذ، نصيحة تقدمها لمن يحفظ القرآن. أنا لم أحفظ القرآن بأكملها، فلأجل هذا أنا لا أستطيع أن أقدم أي نصيحة، لكن أقول شيء يعني هذا ما جربته بنفسي. إذا كنت تحفظين شيء فلازم تحفظين من مصحف معين، يعني استخدمي مصحف معين واحفظ في وقت معين كل يوم. نعم، كل يوم. وعندما تراجعين فراجعي الدرس يعني بالترتيب، يعني اكتبي على الورقة، يعني اليوم سأراجع لا أدري 5 صفحات من وراء، ويوم الثاني 5 صفحة التي بعدها، ويوم الثالث هكذا. يعني هكذا يعني تحفظين شيء جديد كل يوم وكذلك تراجعينه. وللأسف رأيت كثير من الناس يعني يحاولون حفظ شيء لكن لا مراجعة عندهم، فلأجل هذا يعني يضيع منهم كثير ما حفظوا من قبل. Okay, I would appreciate if you could answer the Tahari question. It has been bothering me. So let's go back to the Tahari question. Tahari. Okay. Okay, if after Salah one finds out that his clothes had impurity in it with which Salat is not valid, should he redo his Salat? I forgot to make an important distinction. He knew that, so he have to repeat the Salat again. Because this is not Tahari. Because this was based upon khata. So there's a difference between khata after knowing and not knowing. So if a person does not know, like a person does not know that this cloth is impure and prayed their salat in that cloth that was impure, will their salat be considered to be done or not? So for example, like in Hidayah, it's mentioned that if a person was to, was to go to the desert and didn't have any water and prayed the salat without water, then later on found out in the car that they had water in that car from before, that they had placed or someone else had placed. So Imam Abu Yusuf says you have to repeat the salat again because that is not considered to be udhr. Nisyan is not udhr here. Whereas Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Muhammad rahimahullah said that this is considered to be a udhr over here. And the response that Imam Abu Yusuf gives, or Hidayah gives, is that the water is normally, like a car is normally a place where water is stored. And their response is, well, normally on a journey, water is used for drinking, not for wudu purposes. So therefore, if a person had the clothes, so according to Imam Abu Yusuf rahimahullah, that salat would have to be repeated. According to Imam Abu Yusuf, this Sahibain, I would say that they would also say that the salat has to be repeated as well, because this is not the same as something being away from your, so your clothes are on you all the time. So therefore, like the qiyas between the two, I would say mal fariq. But there is the other masala as well in the well masala. So if you check up in Hidayah, the well masala. The well masala is basically that you have, it's mentioned over there that a rat dies in the well, you don't know when it's been there. So the Sahibain say you don't have to repeat the salats until you absolutely know when the clothes were impure. Yeah, when they were impure. And Imam Abu Hanifa says you have to repeat the salats of 1 day and 1 night if it's moist, and 3 days and 3 nights if it's dry. That's also a masala, but that's not prior knowledge of the najasa. Hope that helps. Thoughts on the study Quran? I haven't read the study Quran, so I wouldn't be able to comment on it. Yeah, so I haven't really seen it. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys the books that I've got, inshallah, today. So today, these are the books that I have received. I will show you them. First of all, I received this magazine. This is a magazine that is printed in Pakistan. There's a madrasa they call Baytul Salam, and they have a regular, I think it's every 3 or 4 months, they have a magazine they write. And in this magazine, there are many articles that are written, and this Arabic is like very good Arabic for like students, ulama, to read. It's from printed in Pakistan. Yeah, so it's got some good stuff in there. And I was saying to you about that maqala which was written. This is written by Amir Bahjat. So Dr. Amir Bahjat. Yeah, Dr. Amir Bahjat. So he's written a whole بين المحاضر الشنقيطية ومدارس شبه القارة الهندية. Yeah, so this is basically, there's an Arab scholar and he went to India, checked out a lot of the madaris there. He went to Deoband, Nadwa, and some other places. And then he went to Mauritania and checked out the madaris there. Over there, they call them mahadir, basically. They don't call them madaris, they call them mahadir. And he saw the differences between the two, like how they study and one. He saw advantages and disadvantages. He gave preference to the Mauritanian method. And he said that basically, the summary is that the Indian subcontinent madaris don't focus too much on memorization, and they study too much. So the students study too much in one go, which makes them not that strong in that particular knowledge. So they study so many books that they can't have itqan, they can't gain itqan in that particular knowledge. Yeah, he just like kind of basically said that. So this is this magazine that I was sent, mashallah. I wish I could get these magazines here regularly. It's excellent for students. And it's got like some other articles that are written as well. Yeah, you can have a look at that. Some of these articles are written by Arabs and some are written by people from Pakistan. Okay, the next book is this one. This is a book that I don't think you can get over here, but I don't know, maybe الأساليب الأدبية في الكتابة العربية. Yeah, so this is by Musa al-Iraqi. So there's a scholar in Pakistan who's from Iraq originally, but he's started a movement in Pakistan of just Arabic in some of the madaris, and he's written a lot of work on this. He does a lot of work for this, so he's like revived like Arabic speaking over there and writing, and he's doing a very amazing job over there. So he's written this book. So he's got like sentences, for example. So he said, like, let's say, for example, you want a sentence that starts off with qadrama. So he's written how in Arabic you say things like qadrama. Yes, over here you can see. Yeah, so he's like showing you how systematically you can say things. Or let's say, for example, walau anna. So Arabs, for example, say walau anna. Yeah, so how could you say various sentences starting off with walau anna? Yeah, so you got that. So it's all just like expressions, basically, Arabic expressions using well-known like starting words. Yeah, so like ما كنت لأكون. Yeah, ما كان له أن يتجرأ هذه الجرأة. ما كنت لأسبق المعلم في شيء قط. ما كنت لأصل إلى ما ترى لولا توفيق الله. إن هذا التطور ما كان ليكون لولا نصرة الله. Yeah, so again, this is really good, I would say, for people who really want to up their game when it comes to like perfecting their expressions in Arabic. Yeah, so more accurate Arabic expressions rather than like broken Arabic expressions, pidgin Arabic. Okay, so he's got a lot of books, so you can actually get a lot of his books. So if you want to get books learning Arabic, Musa al-Iraqi is called, Musa al-Iraqi. Yeah, and then there's this book. This is actually written by someone in the Arab world, Al-Aranjiyah. So Aranjiyah basically has written this book to solve the problem of new modern Arabic, where modern Arabic has been affected so much by Western and other foreign languages that he's kind of written this book to show like why modern standard Arabic is now becoming so like mixed with French and English and other languages. And he kind of focused a lot on how people need to bring back the Arabic language to how it was spoken in the past, like the expressions. So, it's quite a thick book. It's so over 200 pages, you can say. But I'll give you an example. Yeah. So let me show you an example of how he like brings things. So he talks about the differences between like Arabic expressions, English expressions, poetry in Arabic and other foreign languages. So I like this part that he's got over here. So he does like a cross section over here. So here, look, this is like a good way of looking at this. So if you look at this table over here, can you see this table? Yeah. So what he does is he brings how something is said in Arabic, then he brings how you translate into English, and then he translates that from English to Arabic in modern Arabic, how it's now said in modern Arabic. That same classical Arabic statement, how in modern Arabic they say it, and how much they've been influenced by the English. So let me read it to you guys. So for example, like he says, like Allah says in the Quran, قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. Okay, إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. He said, so this is translation. He said, I will make you a leader of people. Now, if you translate that English into modern Arabic, it's like this. قَالَ سَأَجْعَلُكَ قَائِدًا لِلنَّاسِ. قال سأجعلك قائدا للناس. So you see that? سأجعل, so look at the difference. إني جاعلك للناس إماما سأجعلك قائدا للناس. Difference there. Or for example, let me read another one. قالوا ربنا أطعنا سادتنا وكبراءنا فأضلونا السبيل. Yeah. قالوا ربنا إنا أطعنا سادتنا وكبراء فأضلونا السبيل. So, and they will say, our Lord, we obeyed our leaders and elites, but they led us astray from the right way. So now, if you translate that into modern Arabic, this English to modern Arabic, وسوف يقولون ربنا أطعنا قادتنا ونخبتنا لكنهم قادونا إلى الضلال عن الطريق الصحيح. So you see that modern Arabic, you can see how it's been affected by the English structure of how you say things. Okay, let me give you one more. Like this hadith. حتى إذا لم يترك عالما اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا. It's a famous hadith. حتى إذا لم يترك عالما اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا. So when Allah takes away all the ulama, yeah, so he says, so that he leaves no learned person, people turn to the ignorant as their leaders. Now translate that into modern Arabic. فعندما لا يترك شخصا متعلما الناس يتجهون إلى الجهلاء كقادة لهم. So you see that? So this book, this is a very nice book. This is for that kind of, it's a very nice book for learning about this problem of this modern Arabic being influenced by Western languages. So I'll just read, for those of you guys who know Arabic, I'll just read for you guys what he says. This is like on the back of the cover, yeah, just to kind of like give you an introduction to what the book's about. So he says, لم أزل أعزك الله أخبر من جالست بعجمة هذا الزمان وبعد أهله من الفصاحة وأزعم فيما أزعم أن الفصحى التي يكتبون بها أقرب إلى لغات الإفرنج منها إلى لغة القرآن فما يسمع مقالتي منهم أحد حتى يرميني بطرفه وينغض رأسه كأنما نلته بسوء فمنهم من ينكر أن في عربية الزمان عجمة ويجعلها ولغة الأوائل سواء ومنهم من يرى العجمة فيها يسيرة حينة ويحملني على المبالغة والتزيد فكنت لما لقيت ما لقيت أراود النفس مليا على كتابة شيء من ذلك وفي ذلك وبيان هذه البلوى بيانا شافيا وما يصرفني عن ذلك إلا كثرة الشواغل وما أعلمه عن نفسي من غلبة الجهل وكثرة الخطأ وضعف الحجة غير أني سمت نفسي مشقة معالجة هذه المسألة وغالبت شواغلي إذ لم أجد في ذلك تأليفا شافيا أحيل عليه وأقنع بالرد عليه. Yeah, so you're basically saying that when I wrote this book, there were people out there who mentioned to me that, you know, you're wrong in what you're saying. You're saying that the modern Arabic language is closer to Western languages than it is to classical Arabic. And that was one group. Another group was saying that no, you're right, but you're exaggerating too much. So he says people didn't understand what I was saying. So I think this is like a really important book for anyone who wants to really seriously think about like modern sort of like problems with the Arabic language. And if you want to understand the deen, you have to understand classical Arabic. Classical Arabic is very important. Modern Arabic is basically the stuff that you can, you know, easily just get translations of on social media. Right. نعم طبعتها جيدة ما شاء الله. وعليكم السلام. In the book Al-Mughni, Ibn Qudama writes, someone asked Imam Ahmad about cheese. The Imam replied, you can eat it from any source. When asked about cheese made by the Magians, he said, I don't know, but there is a hadith through Al-A'mash that Amr ibn Shurahbil said that the Umar was asked about cheese and rennet of illegal animals used therein. Umar instructed him to mention Allah's name upon it, eat it. I haven't seen this report, but it does seem to fit in with the general understanding according to the Hanafis. Yeah. Can you post the book titles? Yes, I will post the book titles. So the book titles are Al-Aranjiyya. Al-Aranjiyya is short for Al-Arabic and Ifrinjiyya. Yeah. So Al-Aranjiyya. So he's like taken two words and like merge them together. Al-Aranjiyya, that's one. And then Al-Asalib Al-Adabiyya. Al-Asalib Al-Adabiyya by Musa Al-Iraqi. Okay. And then Majallat Al-Salam. So this is a magazine. Majallat Al-Salam magazine printed in Pakistan. يعني العربية الإفرنجية. أيوة هكذا. مزج بين الكلمتين. هذا صحيح؟ نعم بالضبط. أتفكر على سؤالك ويشوشني. أباحني الشافعي فتى. إن توضح لنا من فضلك. أعني ما مشكل في ذلك وأين السؤال فيها الجملة. يعني أصل الجملة كان هكذا: أباحني فتى الشافعي الشطرنج. أباحني فتى الشافعي شطرنج. فعندما تسمع هذه الجملة يعني تظن أن هناك أبا حنيفة، يعني يدل على ذلك الرجل المشهور أبو حنيفة، ولكن ليس هكذا الأمر. الأمر هو أن أبا حني فعل والمفعول، والشافعي هو الفاعل والمبدل، وفتى فاعل مبدل، والشافعي هو بدل، والشطرنج هو المفعول به. يعني سؤال كان riddles. نعم. الأهاجي الأهجوة. MP أهلا وسهلا. Welcome ما شاء الله. Could you give us some Nahu riddles to figure out? That was the request of a follower. Yeah, that was the one that I gave. Aba Hanifatan. There's another one. Anna Zaydun Karimin. Yeah. Anna Zaydun Karimin. Anna Zaydun Karimin. Yeah. How do you do that? Anna Zaydun Karimin. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا. اليوم صديقي بارك الله فيكم. شكرا جزيلا. What happened you say are three top weaknesses of men, and what would you say are the three top weaknesses of men, and what about women's? Three top weaknesses of men, as in like men, as in human being men generally. Three top weaknesses. Well, the easiest thing to do is why are men in prison? So if you look at prisons, what's the major reason for why men are in prison? And that will possibly be an easy way to figure it out. Yeah, so you look at what are the top reasons for why men are in prison, and then you separate from them those reasons for why women share as well. So for example, like drugs, men and women obviously are in prison for drugs, so take that out of the way. So what else is there? Violence, men and women share violence as well. What else is there? Then obviously there's opposite gender. Yeah, so men are in prison because of violating women, and possibly the other way around as well, but probably more men. That's probably their weakness. Another weakness, I mean, I don't know. Is your question, see now I'm thinking, is your question like specifically men, three things that are specifically found in men, weaknesses that you don't get in women? Is that what you're talking about? So I would easily say one of the weaknesses of men obviously is women, and possibly one of the weaknesses of women is possibly men. I don't know. Would that be correct? Is it like a trick question, or have I kind of like over philosophized it? I was a Shafi'i permitted me the youth. What's the riddle? الأرنجية معناها أعطاني الشافعي الشطرنج أحجية قلب ترتيب الجملة. نعم يطلق الأحجية لهذا. نعم. Muhammad Ustad, when someone is bleeding and needs to repeat wudu at the start of every salat time for duha, do they need to repeat after sunset, or does Sunset, you mean sunrise? Sunrise, yeah? Or does wudu of Fajr continue until Dhuhr? So this is where there's an ikhtilaf between Imam Hanifa, Muhammad, Abu Yusuf. So according to majority of the scholars, that the person would have to redo their wudu after sunrise. Majority say that they'd have to redo their wudu after sunrise. ومعناها أباح لي استعماله. نعم أباحني أستاذ فضل اشرح حبيبي. نعم. فأباحني means permitted for me. الشافعي, Imam Shafi'i, who was a young man. شطرنج, playing with chess. Yeah, playing chess. Anyway, guys, Jazakumullah khair. Shukran for the wonderful live stream. I hope you guys are well. Inshallah, this week I'm back to my normal routine. So videos I'll be making as well, inshallah. So hopefully check out the videos, and I'll have a little bit more of these before I go. I'll have a few more of these grasshoppers. The general question, e.g. day-to-day life, e.g. in marriage and friendships, and their spouse and friends notice a lot. So generally, I think possibly the issue of obviously women. Possibly another thing, maybe men is like anger, anger, hormones, getting. That's another thing men have. And a third thing possibly is what else? What else would there be, guys? Barakallah feekum, ahlan wa sahlan wa feekum. Yes, you overdid it. Yeah, that's what happens when you guys ask me. Remember, Sharif, you used to ask me questions, and I used to kind of like, my brain used to go into hyper mode. I'll start analyzing a bit too much. Are the hadith preserved in the dialect of Quraysh, or is it just the wording? No. So the hadith, most of the hadith that we have are not the exact words from the Prophet ﷺ. They are passed down in the words of the Sahaba and people after them. And if you want to learn more about this Ali Samir, then I've got an Usul Hadith course that you can join. The email is at the bottom. You send the email in, you can join that course. Ayyan Hussein, wa alaikum salam. If I'm praying alone and somebody tries to join congregation, but I'm praying Sunnah Salah, what should I do? After Sunnah, you tell them. After you finish your Sunnah, tell them. So, MP, what would you say the weaknesses are? Yeah, or if someone else wants to tell me, you can send it to Curious Cat if you want. What are the 3 weaknesses of men? What are the 3 weaknesses of women? Yeah, send it to Curious Cat. Here is the Curious Cat link, and you can send it there. What is Ism Azam and what are they? I don't know. But there are some narrations that seem to mention there is like this ultimate name of Allah that you say and your du'as are accepted. That's what some narrations seem to mention. Yeah. So some say that it's the word Allah is the Ism Azam, but there's nothing categorical. Does that mean I should continue praying quietly and then explain? Yes, that's correct. And guys, we are at 91,000 viewers, subscribers rather, not viewers, subscribers. And hopefully, inshallah, we should hit 91,412 subscribers, alhamdulillah. And we should hit, hopefully, let's see when we're going to hit the social. Let's check out Social Blade site. Check out Roots of Knowledge. What's it saying? What's Social Blade saying? Wait. Check him out. I think their weakness, they can't keep a secret. Yeah, possibly. أباح الشافعي الشطرنج في مذهبه. نعم. وصلت إلى الحق. الآن حصل الحق. Sheikh Musa Raqi has 2 other books that are good for learning Arabic. عربية لغة المسلم, good. And عربية المعاصرة, أينما كان ومن كان الشيخ. نعم. أنا لا أعرفه يعني شخصيا, لكن عندما كنت في باكستان كان مشهور هناك. نعم. يعني عندما كنت أتخرج يعني قرابة يعني سنة أو سنتين قبل تخرجي كنت أتسمع بهذا الاسم. فنعم. وكان رجل يعني جاء من العراق, وكان يعني لا أدري هل هو متخصص بالعربية أو مهندس, لكنه يعني كان شغفه تعليم العربية, وبدأ تدريس في مدرسة ابن عباس, وحاليا أعتقد أنه أيضا هناك مدرس, وله أيضا دروس على يوتيوب أيضا. يعني أنت إذا بحثت على يوتيوب تجد له موقع يعني قناة أيضا. الحمد لله 100K إن شاء الله. Okay, let's check out what this guy is saying. Future projections. Okay, future milestones. Let's check out milestones. 162 days left to hit. 162 days left. 100,000. So now it's saying in 2023 I'm gonna hit 100,000. No, that can't be right. Is that right? In February now. I think maybe it's probably slowed down. 100,000 has slowed down, guys. Yeah, looks like it's a bit slowed down, guys. Chalo, it doesn't matter. So next February then. It was saying November a few months ago. Hopefully, once it starts kicking off again. حرام عند الحنفية. نعم, عند الحنفية يقولون أنه لا يجوز. نعم, يعني هذا عند المتقدمين. أما المتأخرين جوازه كثير منهم. المغزى من الأحجية ليس تشريع أو الإباحة أو الإجازة على حد علمي, إنما فك الأحجية إعراب ونحو. نعم, صحيح. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like. Okay, so no one sent any of those weakness things, men, women weakness things on Curious Cat. We will leave it there. Inshallah, finished eating my. Actually, I've been eating these grasshoppers, and there's this those moths in the room flying around by the light. So I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what he tastes like. Not that I'm gonna eat. So hit that like button. I think men's are ego and listening. Bang on. That is 100% correct. People say men don't listen a lot and ego drives a lot. That's it. Bang on. I think that is perfect. You got it right on. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. أقل اللوم عاذل والعتابا وقولي إن أصبت لقد أصابا. نعم. شرب نعقيل. نعم. Women, they never admit their weakness. You will discover it when you get married. Okay, anyway, guys, I will finish there. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Hopefully, I will see you guys next Friday. Back to the normal routine, guys. Yeah, I will leave these for next week, guys. If anyone does want to share with me a party, then I will bring these down. What's wrong with you? Leave the poor moth. Save your appetite for tomorrow, inshallah. All right, guys. Take care, inshallah. We'll see you guys next time. Assalamu